Oh, welcome back, everyone. I'm Jill Lindsay. I am your host of the Leo Rising podcast and the founder of Essence Healing. I love being able to jump on video and share with you some amazing tools and insights. Today, I'm recording the podcast as a video. I feel vibrant today and ready to share, and I have a whole list of things I want to go through, not today but on other videos. So I had almost trouble figuring out what the heck I was going to share with you today, but I've decided that we're going to talk about energetic boundaries. So this is a robust topic. I'm just going to go over some really simple things with you today, just to help you be in a little bit more awareness of your energy and your reactions and potential projections, and also reading that a little bit more from others and to decipher when someone else is reacting in a room or expressing something. How can we really disassociate from that so that we can be in our own energy and awareness, and also potentially take lesson from what we are observing? I want you to know that everything that we do as human beings, as light beings, as energetic beings, however you want to think about yourself as a person, energetically, as human beings, we are able to create anything we want. Anything we want. So when it comes down to our emotions, what we want to see in the world, what we want to be acting like, that all comes from within. It's never really something that we might see it from someone else or have learned it from someone else, but we have to learn to gauge into our own body and energy to know if that is really the way we actually want to be acting. And one thing that happens automatically with our human functionality, just us as a person, one thing I want to share with you before I go into that is I'm a pretty technical person. Even though I love energy and I love spiritual things and I love the soul and all the beautiful words that come with how we get to connect to source, I actually really like to know and understand how it works. So I always look into questioning things and asking questions and understanding. But what I've learned over time is it always comes down to our feeling and how we feel in our body. This is the gauge that we need to go to in order to start just understanding our own inner world and our life and what we're seeing and what we're observing. I like to know how things actually work. So as a human being, we have both the parasympathetic nervous system and sympathetic nervous system. The sympathetic nervous system is our automatic response. If you think of the sympathetic nervous system and parasympathetic nervous system, these both run along the spine and feed into our nerves, which feed into our entirety of our body. So if you can imagine energy flowing through that system, and if we have control of both those systems, then that means that we can create and manage everything about ourselves, our thoughts, our energy. So functionally, we actually work this way. And one thing that actually happens with our human nature and our expression and how we go about life, if we're too much in the brain, then we get to be in this automatic running system. Just how our breath kicks in, it's always constantly going. So our thoughts and our brain is constantly going. If we are not paying attention to how we're being and acting, then we'll likely go into a more comfortable state and we will maybe we'll maybe react in a certain way, or something that we maybe don't really actually mean or isn't coming from our heart. So oftentimes we can get triggered and react to certain things that we're seeing because it's a reminder of something within that we need to look at or manage. So it can be quite simple. It doesn't have to be that we blame ourselves for doing wrong or blaming ourselves for doing it not like the other person. We just have to get into our bodies and check in with our heart and understand if that is something that we want to be acting like in the future or not. So being graceful with yourself on how you're reacting to different things in life is the first step to really managing and being aware of our energy. It's a step. It doesn't have to be the first step, but it's a step. It's something that's actually really, really important, especially when we notice ourselves reacting around a crowd or a person or somebody that we're in connection with and relationship with. So I won't go into both of those parasympathetic and sympathetic systems right now. It'll be a whole entire video, but on the other side of our automatic response, if you haven't heard of fight, flight, freeze, or fawn, that's another part of our automatic system. So we want to manage our energy and we can get out of that system. It reacts in ways that are overreactive, and they're really based on that primal instinct. I was speaking with my husband about this just yesterday. That primal instinct actually doesn't really serve us so well when we don't need to be so fearful of something that's not actually threatening. So being aware of these things and just start to notice like where fears come up and ask the question, like, is this actually a life threat for me? Is this going to hurt me if I do this action? So ask those questions and just see where in your body you start to react. If something's getting a little nerve-wracking for you, just ask, is this actually life-threatening? Some things seem like they might happen again based on a past experience. So just start to look into that. Don't go too deep. We want to I'm very much about keeping things simple. So what I'm going to teach you next is just the parasympathetic nervous system is our rest system, our system of healing, our system of coming home to ourselves, coming home to our heart. There's many ways to approach this, and I approach this in ways of just simply, one thing that you could know today is just being in the present moment. What is going to gather you into the present moment? Maybe it's bringing your hands to prayer in front of your heart. Maybe it's placing your hand on your heart. Maybe it is looking at yourself in the mirror and just recognizing yourself as you are right now. So you don't have to think about the future or the past in this moment. Just bring yourself back home to your heart. This is where everything gets to be created from. So if we can't be in this space, then we can't create something new. So simple, there's lots of other ways to go deeper into this. And that's why I'm here. I've started this channel to deep dive in and tell you all about everything that I've learned over the past 3 years. So parasympathetic nervous system is what you get to control. Our breath can control this, healing, Reiki sessions, whatever you can do to start to manage your parasympathetic nervous system is a great start. So there you go. You have those two terms to go and research and just look up for yourselves. And you're welcome to come back to my channels. I'm going to be teaching more and more on this, or back to the podcast as I continue to teach on this. An extra thing that I want to share with you today about how we are reacting, how we are projecting, and what creation really means in terms of our expression. So as a human being, knowing that we get to create whatever we want, there's our automatic response. And what I was speaking to my husband about is just our natural way of kind of going around the day, and maybe something is not feeling good and we just start to get into our automatic being and, you know, sitting on a couch just slunched over and not really being engaged with the person that's in the room. My husband was leaning back. He's like, yeah, like I just stood up today. And I was like, why am I like this? Like, stood up and opened his heart to his stance and put his shoulders back. If you just remember your heart, remember to open up your shoulders, and just do this with a partner in the room, not even telling them what you're doing. If you notice yourself kind of in reaction mode and maybe grumpy at them, or, you know, realizing that there's something there that's uncomfortable, notice first, and then just breathe in and just curiously just put your shoulders back and open your heart. And say something like, you don't even have to say anything. Just sit up on the couch, put your heart forward, and see if they look at you. Or next time you're going to be speaking to someone, try and bring your heart open to the conversation. Put your shoulders down. Why I'm telling you this is I just recently learned that our language as human beings, as energy beings, is 80% body language, and the other 20% is speaking. So, and another thing that I realized is that what we create from within gets to be expressed in our physical, but we actually have to make an action to do that. So whether that is our body language and being in intention of that, or being in intention of how we are speaking, I find that being in the right body language helps to be able to project that voice more. Because functionally, if you're crunched over and you're scared and you're worried, and mind you, I've had some big healings around this, self-discovery around this. I'm definitely a person that likes to hide, so I've had to be super aware of even getting on camera, and that's why I'm teaching you this today, so I can even practice what it's like to be able to just speak to you openly and just allow the words to flow through. So I want you to try that this week, just being in a little bit more awareness of your body language, and notice maybe too how someone else's body language reacts to your body language. So if you're kind of crunched down and you're maybe grumpy at someone and you say something, likely they're going to be grumpy back at you, because that's the projection of what you've created. So again, super simple. Got to be aware of it. They can be sticky situations. I mean, my husband and I have often had just conversations that just go nowhere, and we're fighting our own responses and we are not understanding each other. But we've recently really come into this idea of just taking a breath, putting our shoulders back, opening our heart. So what if we're a little bit mad at each other or arguing, or there's something going on? Likely it's just something that we're personally going through, and we have to be open to listening to that person, to what they have to say and what they're trying to express. And if we open our hearts, we'll be able to tell each other more about our feelings, more about what's going on, so that there is better understanding. Because if we are crunched over and we're probably in our stuff, we're probably telling fibs, we're probably beating ourselves up, we're probably not actually saying the words that we want to be saying, and it's all in our head. So open your heart, just share what's on your heart, what's in your body rather than your mind. If it's something in the mind, sure, it's probably stemming from something in the body. So that's all I'm going to say for you today in this episode. It's going to be super short. I'm going to continue to create these videos, and the podcast is going to be continuous but sporadic, because I am someone that, you know, I need to work on my energy management, and I don't work well if I'm doing it at the same day every week, sort of thing. I really go off the energy that I'm feeling and the lessons that I'm learning. So it's really going to be based on what I'm reading collectively with the Akashic records, and as well as what I'm personally learning and sharing as well as I go through developing business and connecting with more people and building a community. All of these things, I want you to join me along the ride, and I'm here for it. I'm so freaking excited to be in this, and I love you, and I can't wait to meet you. Reach out, find the website. I will be in contact with you right away if you have any questions and you would like to email me. Let's get together and build a beautiful world and just manage our energy in a way that we can be fully expressed. It's my favorite thing in the world. So I'm so excited to be able to teach all of this information to you. And aside from just teaching you information, I am going to be teaching practices. I am so much about experience and getting to know your energy. And the only way you can get to know your energy really, really well is if you go within. If you actually get to greet your energy, your magic, if you actually get to meet that soul and who you are. And I have so many amazing techniques for that. So if you are interested in just discovering a little hint of your essence and your magic, you can go to my website and download the free Discover Your Essence workshop. It's going to lead you into a space where there are more workshops to explore, but this is just the beginning. So get into it, see how you feel when you listen to the meditation and do the journaling, see what comes for you. And I would love to hear your thoughts and what you received through that workshop. I love you, and I'll talk to you super soon.